The best coverage of the Hamas-Israel war continues this evening on the No Spin News. President Biden off to Israel. Is that a good or a bad thing? We will answer that question, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So the itinerary is that President Biden is flying overnight from the USA. He's only going to be in Israel for a few hours, no overnight, okay? And he's going to meet with Netanyahu in Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel, and they'll discuss whatever they want to discuss. That is not a bad thing, okay? So if I were president, I would do it too. Then Mr. Biden is off to Amman, Jordan. Jordan is an ally of the United States, and he's going to meet with Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian National Authority, which really does not exist. So they have an office, but Hamas runs Gaza, not the Palestinian Authority. And that's been the case for 18 years. But there's still Abbas is in there, and he's going to meet with Biden. Okay. And then El-Sisi of Egypt and King Abdullah of Jordan are going to be in the meeting as well. That's a good thing. So we need to coordinate all this. Now, as long as Biden is in the area, there's not going to be a military invasion of Gaza. They're not going to do that with Biden over there. But he's not going to be over there long. So I figure he'll be back here. It's Tuesday, by Thursday. Maybe I'm wrong. The reason this whole thing started, as we reported last night, was because of Saudi Arabia and Israel making a deal. And Iran did not want that because it strengthened Saudi Arabia, Iran's enemy. So Iran got behind Hamas to invade Israel and commit atrocities to kill the deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia. They didn't kill it, but the deal's suspended, so Iran gets a short-term win. That's why this happened. Okay? We all understand, I hope. Not going to get that on most of the television news broadcasts. That's exactly why it happened. Now, the U.S. military is in the Middle East. It has been in. If you read Killing the Killers, my book about terrorism, we've been there since the Iraq War. We have bases, Special Forces bases in Western Iraq. We have bases in Kuwait, huge base in Kuwait, been there 3 times. We have bases in Turkey. Okay? So about 2,000 troops are able to be deployed very quickly in case, say, our embassy was attacked or something like that, in case they're needed. They're not going to fight alongside the Israeli Defense Forces. That's not going to happen. There are now 2 warships, carriers. One is already there, the USS Ford. Another one's coming, which will be right off the Mediterranean coast of Israel. And there'll be planes on those carriers and heavy weapons. And so there is a military presence for the USA in the region. But I'm not so concerned about that. Tomorrow on the No Spin News, we'll have Colonel Hunt, who's doing research into exactly what this is all about. I'll better have information tomorrow on it. Now, the United Nations, and this is a scandal, they're in business to try to mitigate things like this. Nothing out of the UN. Nothing. So they could set up humanitarian camps in Egypt, just south of Gaza, to take women and children out of Gaza. The UN could do that. But no. And you know what it says? We need guarantees of security before we can do anything like that. Guarantees of security, huh? That means the UN is not doing a thing. Why are we in the UN? I guess because you can meet with people, but this is just such a impotent organization. that could not care less about this planet. I've never been down more on the United Nations than I am now, ever in my whole career. It is rotten. They should be in this, and they're useless, 100% useless. Now, the Vatican has offered to broker a peace agreement, but that's not going to happen. The Vatican offered to broker something between Russia and Ukraine, but evil doesn't want to be around the Pope. And it's not going to happen. But I was happy to see the offer. And finally, I don't think that we should be criticizing Joe Biden right now, the president. Yes, he's weak. I point that out in the message of the day. There's so much overseas chaos now, whereas under Trump there wasn't. And that's just a fact. So if your liberal friends are going to dispute that, just say, hey, have a nice day. Now, is it all Biden's fault? No, but a lot of it is. The Afghan thing set the tone. But right now is not the time. Let Biden go over there, let him do what he does, and then we'll see. Is that fair? I think so. And that's a memo.